WikiCommonsThe Cleveland Indians won 102 games in 2017 and looked like they were destined to make an impact in the postseason, but then they ran into the New York Yankees, who bested Cleveland in 5 games in the ALDS. The Indians went on to win a mere 91 games in 2018, but due to the lack of competition in the AL Central, the Minnesota Twins had 78 wins and finished in second place in the division. 13 games back, they truly had a subpar season. They ended up getting swept badly by the Houston Astros in 3 games in the ALDS, according to a report from ESPN.com. As Buster Olney, the Indians will listen to trade offers for some of their veteran players this winter. He mentions Corey Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, Edwin Encarnacion and Ian Gomes and guys that they could listen on. The first 2 guys make a lot of sense for the Yankees, who are looking to add starting pitching this offseason. The Yankees and Indians match up well for a blockbuster trade, and they've matched up for a trade in the past. The Yankees and Indians completed a 5-player trade before the 2016 non-waiver trade deadline that sent lefty relief ace Andrew Miller, who is a free agent this winter, to Cleveland in exchange for Justus Sheffield, Clint Frazier, Ben Heller, and J.P. Their reason: if the Indians do in fact listen to offers on Corey Kluber or Carlos Carrasco, the Yankees would need to be in on those sweepstakes. Kluber turns 33 in April and is due $17 million in 2019, along with a 2020 team option worth $17.5 million, $1 million buyout, and a 2021 team option worth $18 million, $1 million buyout, so he's on a pretty team-friendly contract. Carrasco turns 32 in March and is due $9.75 million in 2019, along with a 2020 team option worth $9.5 million, $662,500 buyout. Carrasco, who is 60-36 with a 3.40 in 119 games, 117 starts, since the beginning of 2015, would definitely be the cheaper option, but if the Yankees really want to make a serious splash this offseason, you've got to go for the big fish. Klubot, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, went 20-7 with a 2.89 ERA, along with 222 strikeouts, third best in AL, and a league-high 215 innings pitched this past season. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball since 2014, compiling an 83-45 record over that span with a 2.85 ERA and 1228 strikeouts. The Yankees and Indians match up well for a blockbuster trade, and they've matched up for a trade in the past. The Yankees and Indians completed a 5-player trade before the 2016 non-waiver trade deadline that sent lefty relief ace Andrew Miller, who is a free agent this winter, to Cleveland in exchange for Justus Sheffield, Clint Frazier, Ben Heller, and J.P. A reason: how does that affect the Yankees now, though? Well, a rotation that sported the likes of Corey Kluber or Carlos Carrasco, Luis Severino, possibly Patrick Corbin, Masahiro Tanaka, and a veteran lefty free agent, such as J.A. Happ or C.C. Sabathia, or even a young stud, such as Justus Sheffield, Mike King or someone of that nature, would have a pretty good chance of going up against the likes of Boston's Chris Sale, David Price, Rick Porcello, possibly Nathan Eovaldi if he re-signs, and whoever rounds out that rotation. Hal Steinbrenner has already mentioned that his main priority this offseason is starting pitching, and if he's really serious, he will have Brian Cashman call up Cleveland and start talking. The Yankees definitely have the prospects, and young proven big league talent, to complete a blockbuster with the Indians. Any deal involving either of those 2 Indian starters would probably have to begin with possible AL Rookie of the Year Miguel Andujar. The 23-year-old third baseman played above expectations in 2018, posting a .297, .328, .527, 126 ops/line in 149 games played, along with 27 home runs and 92 runs batted in. In the past, the Yankees have been reluctant to include the likes of Andujar in trade discussions for a starting pitcher, but Kluber and Carrasco would definitely move the needle. Then, the Indians would probably ask about former their own farmhand Justus Sheffield, who was drafted in the first round of the 2014 amateur draft by Cleveland. Sheffield is the Yankees' top prospect, and he posted a 2.48 ERA in 25 games, 20 starts between AAA Scranton, Wilkes-Barre and AA Trenton. Then, it would depend if the Indians wanted a big league-ready outfielder, like their own former first-round pick Clint Frazier, or a high-A outfielder with a very high ceiling, like Esteban Florial. Frazier has had stints with the Yankees in the majors over the past 2 seasons, but he's been hampered by injuries. Florial is still a ways away from the big leagues, but he's a toolsy outfield prospect. 3 top guys for a guy like Carrasco, who is only under team control for 2 more seasons, could probably do the trick, along with a lower-tier prospect, maybe like Roansy Contreras, Fraser Perez, or Luis Gil. However, for a proven ace like Kluber, the Yankees definitely would have to include another top piece to land him. The Yankees have 3 more solid pitching prospects in their top 5, according to MLB Pipeline: Jonathan Loaizaga, who has big league experience, Alberto Abreu, and Domingo Acevedo. All 3 have had injury concerns over the last few years, and as recently as last year, they were all out with injuries. However, they still all have high potential, and that could entice the Indians. After one of those guys, a guy from the Group 1 previously mentioned, Contreras, Perez, Gil, would probably round out the offer. Yes, for either one of these guys, you'd have to give up at packages like that, and that's a lot. If the Yankees want to compete with the Red Sox for the AL East, and the Astros for the pennant, then they have to have the stones to make a big move like that. Will Cashman actually make a deal for Kluber? It's probably very unlikely. For Carrasco, still unlikely, but more doable than Kluber. Still, if the Yankees have the chance to prepare an actual trade package for the club, they better not miss their chance to land the ace. It gets to a point where you have to stop hugging your prospects and make the move that's best for the success of the organization. A move for Kluber, or even Carrasco, would really change the perception of their rotation. It would go from a weakness to a big strength. The Yankees would be one step closer to giving the World Series champion Red Sox a run for their money.